And finally, it is my contention that if we mandate DNA testing for every live birth, you're going to have a lot less unwanted children born into the world. Many children who are born into situations with single mothers, born into situations with women chasing guys for child support, would not be born in the first place, because women would know that they would have to answer for who the father really is. Sometimes the father really isn't the person he's supposed to be. Married women having affairs, live-in girlfriends having affairs, and then saying, tag, you're it, you're the dad, that's it, done deal, end of story. We could end all of this, or at least curtail it to a large extent. Well, I got a lot of email about that, and a number of people are opposed to the idea of mandatory DNA testing. There are actually people, and there are movements and organizations out there who do not believe that a man has a right to know whether or not that child is his. There are actually states now trying to pass laws, if you can imagine this, that would require a man to get a woman's consent before there be a DNA test on a child. That would be outrageous. The reason given by some of these organizations is that, if men find out they're not the father, this could cause domestic violence. Men wouldn't have the right to know whether or not they're the father of their own children unless women gave permission. The only women who would give permission are women who know they are faithful. The other women could simply not give permission. And think about this if you're worried about domestic violence. If you're with a violent guy and the guy says, I want a DNA test because I want to know if this is my son, and a woman refuses to let him have the DNA test because he needs her permission and she says no, how much domestic violence do you think you're going to have then? It's on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. The guy before me kind of hit on it before. Forget about the women. We're not thinking about the well-being of these children when we don't demand DNA tests. A child has a right to know who its parents are, and God forbid if something happened, they need a kidney transplant or a bone marrow transplant, and come to find out daddy can't do it because that's not really daddy. How is that going to devastate this child when they grow up and find out that this person raising them is not even their real father? And any mother that loves her child would want her child to know who their true parents are.
Right, and if people want to have babies with other men, then they ought to get out of the relationships they're in.
And how much do you love, you love this other man enough to have an affair with him, but not enough to make him take care of his own child? You're already starting off being a terrible mother before the child's even born. You're already
Well, you know how this works. I mean, sure, women in situations with violent men who have sex with other guys, they don't want the guy finding out. Then there are women who have sex with a very hot pizza delivery guy, and their husband is a very rich stockbroker, fat, bald, older, whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, certainly the pizza guy can't provide for the kid as well as the stockbroker.
That's true, but any mother who's doing that and has this baby is not a mother who truly loves her child.
I agree with you.
I don't care what they say. You do not love your child if you're doing that and you don't give them all the information. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for the call. David on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Van, hey, things are going great. How are you, big guy?
Doing okay, David.
Hey, just real quick. Oh, by the way, I was in Southern Cal last week on business. Thank God you're on the radio. Sitting in that traffic going down to 405, ridiculous.
Yeah, people in Seattle love to complain about the traffic. Come to Southern California. I'll show you traffic.
It's not even close. Anyway, hey, regarding DNA, logically, there is no explanation not to do DNA testing unless you're wanting to commit fraud. I mean, what's more important, identifying the proper parents, their real parents, and the only reason why not to do DNA is because there is a group of people that are willing to commit fraud. I mean,
I'm going to tell you one of the many reasons they don't want to make mandatory DNA testing a reality. That is because if they can't tag some hapless loser and make him pay child support, welfare will end up having to pick up that slack.
Well,
so they would rather tag some guy who is not the father and make him pay than to make welfare pay.
Well, that's true, but still, there's going to be that other half that, I mean, as I told my kids, no such thing as an accident. You made a decision to do something. I don't ever want to hear there was an accidental, pregnancy. And so when you have kids, there is two sides to the equation. So,
right.
I mean, if you do mandatory DNA testing, people can't squirrel away from it.
No doubt about it. You and I are on the same side on this. I'm not getting a lot of, I've got a lot of complaints in the email, I'll tell you that. I stood here today going through the email. Lots of people pointing out this domestic violence angle. Haven't heard from any of them yet. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Sean on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Leykis?
Not much.
All right, man. I'm your proverbial violent listener. Not necessarily in the area of domestic violence, but it gets to the point that if I want something, especially something along the lines of a DNA test, there's no bitch in the world that's going to tell me no. And if she tries telling me no, either cut her tongue out or break her wrists. And, I'll do a little time. I'm a double felon. I'm not afraid of a little more time. What the hell, who the hell is she to tell me whether or not I can't, find out if somebody is blood related to me? Is she psychotic? I mean, I don't know how you take this, but, I mean, I was beyond offended with that, and I don't take offenses from people. I stand up for myself.
Of course, you'd have to be psychotic to get involved with a violent person.
Well, a lot of people like being involved with violent people because they feel secure around them.
But they tend to be psychotic.
Well, I guess you want to call me psychotic, sure, but...
No, not you. It's the women attracted to you.
Oh, that's definitely...
You have your own issues, but being psychotic is certainly the province of a woman who wants to be with a violent man.
Oh, I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. Realistically speaking, though, man, I mean, violence begets violence, but I don't know, chicks dig violent guys, especially those hot ones with all kinds of freaking issues, man. You hit that one right on the head.